learning outcome, right? So a good test is one which is aligned with the learning outcome. Sometimes, by mistake, some educators design tests, then they think about, okay, what are the learning outcomes of these tests? Remember, learning outcomes always come first, and tasks or assessment tasks are created based on the learning outcomes. Okay, it is not the other way around. It is not assessments first, outcomes next. It is assessments, outcomes first, and then based on these outcomes, you see how you can assess a student's performance if they have achieved these outcomes. And then you introduce your assessment. So in order to have in order to optimize learning, you will need to, first of all, come up with some assessment outcomes. And then you have to be able to translate your assessment into your outcomes, or outcomes into your assessment tasks, right? But is there a mechanism to make sure you have got clear outcomes, or is there a mechanism to help you make your outcome, set your outcomes? Yes, there is. There are different types of taxonomies. One of which is one of the most frequent, most commonly used one is Bloom's taxonomy, which consists of different domains, 3 domains, and different hierarchies, which I'm not going to touch on here because we have a very tight time limit. So let me just move on to the next one. The second one is authentic. So what does it mean? What does authenticity, or what does authentic here mean? You have heard about authentic materials, but how about authentic tests or assessments? What does it mean?
I think authentic assessment is make sure that the assignment that students have done demonstrate their real effort, not about the AI generated information for them, but demonstrate how they actually acquire to the learning processes.
Okay. Any other thank you. Any other definitions or any other examples?
Can be like the question or the task will be represent that the activity what they have done in the class, or the content or the outcome, so they can just see the similarity.
Yes. So the outcome should assess a student's performance in real context. So it should be like the assessment task should be a kind of real life task. So they need to be doing the same task outside of the learning context. So this is called authentic test. So a test is authentic if only it exposes learners to the same challenges which they encounter outside of the learning context, right? So it should just it should expose them to the same challenges, to the same questions, to the same problems as they encounter outside of the learning and teaching context.
So Pam, one of the things that we could say is that a lot of assessment that we've done, and that includes me, is very divorced from what people are going to be doing in their post-education lives. For example, we get them to do a multiple choice test, and people get very good at that. They write essays, for example, and we love essays because they're easy, they're cheap and they're easy, and so on and so forth. But they're never going to write another essay in their lives, basically. So the notion of authenticity is, to the extent possible, not always possible, but to the extent possible, to incorporate some element of real life. So application problems, for example, in engineering that they might find, group work projects in engineering that they may actually do meaningfully outside, or beyond their education context.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you so much.
We call it a practical application.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they have to apply their knowledge to the real world context. Next, reliability promoting. So what is it? What do you think it is? So reliability means, here it means consistency with which a test gives the same results. So if I give, like, my brother, this is my brother, if I give my brother this test today, right now, he should get the same score as when I give him the same test tomorrow, regardless of any learning or teaching. Okay, let's assume no learning or teaching occurs. He has to get the same scores. But if he gets 10 today out of 10 and 5 out of 10 tomorrow, it means there is a problem. But generally, reliability has got nothing. It is not a feature of the test, it is a feature of the score. So it has something to do with the conditions under which the exam is run. It has something to do with the scoring, who scores it and how the scorer scores it. Like most of the time, multiple choice questions, there aren't any issue. There aren't many issues with reliability because there is just one correct answer in terms of marking. I'm just talking about in terms of marking. But in terms of when you run the test, it is a big question. Let's just imagine UWA is going to, UWA decides to give students an interview to grant them admission to university, right? International students. And this interview will be held at 8 o'clock Western Australia time, right? And then we have different students here and there. Let's just imagine we have a student in Russia. 8 o'clock here, what time is it in Russia? Maybe 3 a.m., right? It is 3 a.m. So what is going to happen? Do you think that a student